Hey, what's going on, COINOPTV subscribers? Robert Welkner here, doing a Skype chat with my man Blitzwinger, youtube.com/Blitzwinger, popular YouTuber that makes, I don't know why he's pointing down there. Oh,
Check me out.
because there's going to be a link in the description below to check out his YouTube channel. I thought maybe that was just part of the introduction, you know, we got to get low. But anyway, we're doing some of these fun chatter videos, talking about some games and things like that. And in this video, I want to talk about Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, a game that Blitzwinger has completed.
Yeah, I have indeed.
Take us away. What are your thoughts on the game?
All right, so Lego Batman 3, definitely a step in the right direction. I think that this is going to be kind of like a stepping stone kind of game for the Lego franchises. I think that a lot of the superhero Lego games have been kind of starting to become a little bit redundant and a little repetitive. But I think that with like Hobbit and stuff like that, they did some interesting things with like inventory management and changing attires and stuff. So I think that it's really cool that they've begun kind of taking some of those elements and adapting it into Lego Batman. So that was cool. I thought that that was a really neat element. I also really enjoyed the story. In terms of the story, the way that it was composed, I think was really great for adults and children alike. It wasn't dumb for kids, but at the same time, adults will find certain jokes and will only understand certain jokes. So for that, I really, really enjoyed it. And then I think that the biggest change for the Lego Batman, I guess itself, like a little franchise, the biggest changes was with the hub worlds, which have you had a chance to experience those a little bit?
Well, I haven't. I should say I haven't solved Lego Batman 3, but I've gotten as far as kind of where you meet Conan O'Brien and you get into like a little hub world and kind of explore a bit.
So, yeah, basically, if you played Lego Batman 2, you'll remember that, or even Lego Batman 1, you'll remember that you got the chance to explore well, with Lego Batman 1 it was a little more restricted, but still. With Lego Batman 2 you got to explore Gotham City, and really the whole game took place within Gotham. You did travel to Metropolis at one point, but most of the game was closed down in Gotham, and really post-game, you know, which is really where Lego games get a lot of value, is once you're done the main storyline, there's like, you know, most of the time when you're done the main storyline, even if you 100% it, it's like 40% completed, because then you have all the different characters to unlock, the gold bricks to collect, the different missions to do. I mean, there's just tons and tons of stuff to do. The game is like really, really dense with content all the time, which is awesome. But previously was within one kind of setting. Now you get to go to different hub worlds. You get to go to different lantern planets, which is really, really cool. You get to go visit the Batcave or the Watchtower where the Justice League would be, or the Hall of Justice, which is really cool. And underneath that, you have the Hall of Doom. You get to visit the moon, so that's pretty cool. I mean, it's just really neat. I think it's really cool. But at the same time, I do agree with a lot of people that the hub worlds need to become bigger, and they need to become more like, not better is not really the right word, I think, here, but I think more like, you know, kind of like even more unique, because now their uniqueness really comes from just aesthetically. Do they look different? Yeah. But then the missions and everything that you interact with is kind of too similar, in my opinion. So hopefully that'll be something that they could do with the next game.
So something I want to touch on is the nostalgia factor and kind of hitting in the making the kids and the adults happy. We got Adam West in the game. You know, are there some other references that sort of pop out at you?
Well, I mean, there's some cool stuff like Wonder Woman's theme song when she's flying. That was just something that nobody even knew that was happening, so that was really sweet. You have like really obscure and fun characters in there, like Green Lantern, Condiment Man, or Condiment King, who just like has two like ketchup and mustard bottles, and that's really funny. For everybody who's a fan of the 1966 Batman, you'll love this game. Like, I mean, it is just like almost like a love letter. You know, this year they just released the show, from what I understand, right? I mean, personally, I was way too young. I wasn't born, actually, when the show was airing, so I never actually got to watch it or anything, but I do want to check it out. So it's really cool that because the show just came out, they kind of tied in a lot of those 1966 elements into the game. So you've got a lot of those, you know, campy jokes and humor, and there's a whole level that is set within the 1966 kind of realm where you get to play as Adam West Batman and Robin and all those, like, the old Joker. And I mean, the coolest things is, like, how the Joker used to have, like, he had a mustache, right? Like the actor. Mm-hmm. So they painted like the white stuff over his mustache. They even put that in the Lego game. Like, you can see a little mustache underneath. So it's really cool details like that really bring it to home for me.
So does Lego Batman 3 knock it out of the park? Is this the best Lego game? You and I, like, I've played probably 20 Lego games over the years. Yeah. Harry Potter, Marvel superheroes, The Hobbit. I know I'm missing a bunch.
Indiana Jones,
the
Lego
Star
Marvel,
Wars,
Lego Batman,
Star Wars. Was there ever a Star Trek Lego game? Have they ever done that? We gotta get that in the suggestion box. Yes.
Yeah.
So how does this kind of fare, in your favorability chart?
Well, I would say this much. I mean, it sounds really, like, weird to say this, and I really dislike when people say this, like when critics say this, but I kind of have to say it here. How you'll say, well, if you're a fan of Batman, it's like, well, obviously, if you're playing a Batman game, you're going to be a fan of Batman to a certain extent. But I think, in my opinion, it is the best Lego Batman game. And I think that for that, it certainly it gets the honors. But for me personally, if you ever got the chance to play Lego City Undercover, on the Wii U, it was an exclusive game on the Wii U. That game was really, really, really good. I think that game is very underrated, not just as a Lego game, but just as a game. Because I mean, it was basically kind of like family-friendly GTA in Lego style, which is really cool. And I think that game still has a couple of notches up in terms of just the little things it did with gameplay and such for me personally. But I would say that this game is definitely up there in terms of the best Lego games that we've ever gotten. But again, I also think it depends on what you look for. If you look for depth of, like, the DC universe, and I mean, you get to play as Ace the Bat Hound. You get to play as Crypto the dog. You get to play as Bat Cow. I mean, there's some really obscure characters in this, which is awesome. There's some really cool Easter eggs there, which I don't want to spoil. There's a really cool Easter egg or reference, if you were in the Batcave, to Arkham Knight, which is awesome. So they kind of like actually reference another Batman game. So that's really cool. So I mean, the game is awesome. For me, I'm a huge Batman fan, so for me it's definitely awesome, but I still would have to give the honors as the best Lego game to Lego City Undercover. I think that game as a whole is a little bit better.
Yeah, I've heard, I haven't played that, but I've heard really good things about that one. I think the only knock was about the loading screens for the Undercover.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I think if they brought that over to a PS4 or something like that, I think it would work fantastically well, or at least I would hope it would. It just had a lot of really cool things that game did in terms of scale, variety of characters, really cool power-ups and such. So I think that it was a really good step, and hopefully they'll try to take some of those ideas and implement it into the other Lego games. So, yeah.
So here we are. It's almost the Christmas, the end of 2014. As far as I know, officially, they haven't announced another Lego game for 2015. But
officially, yes.
We're going to have to assume now. I know you're really on top of things, like what's coming out and this and that. Is there something you've unofficially heard, or maybe an opinion of your own that you'd like to share?
Well, I've heard unofficially, and some things in terms of... well, first of all, the Lego Batman 3 game references what the next game is going to be, and that's Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Because
I know you mentioned, I did hear that rumor.
Yeah, there's two scenes. I'm not going to say which ones are where, so that it's not spoiling for people who haven't played it yet and might play it during Christmas or whatever. But there are two very, very obvious references and kind of pokes that, hey, this is what we're doing next. So that will most likely be the next game. I would not be shocked if we also get a Lego Marvel game. I think that next year is going to be a 2-game year again. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got a sequel to Lego Marvel Superheroes. Especially with like Avengers, you know what I mean? So I think it would make sense. It's a big Marvel year, so they could capitalize on that. So I think I wouldn't be shocked if we get next year Jurassic Park and Marvel 2. Those would be the 2 games. We'll probably get Jurassic Park earlier on in the year, and then Marvel towards the latter half, towards the holiday season or so. At least that's what I would, if I had to bet, that's what I would choose personally to be the next 2 Lego games that we get.
So we'll have the Star Wars The Force Awakens next year, right? Is it possible they may sneak in another Lego Star Wars game? You know,
I didn't think about that. That's a very good point. The problem, I don't know. I mean, that is a very, very good point. They could maybe do something. I mean, they did it with the Lego Movie. They were able to put together a game, you know, based on the movie and everything. So maybe they'll have enough access to information and everything, you know, to build a game with that in mind. But I just think that, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. You're right. I guess it could be possible. I mean, it's a huge enough franchise to where they could just, you know, leverage that. But, you know, considering that Disney Infinity has hinted quite directly that the next one is going to be Star Wars.
What? No, I'm kidding.
I think that with that, I don't know if they would want to compete with that right away. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, release another Lego Marvel game with Avengers there to support it, I think that there will be enough buzz and enough interest to carry it.
How about Disney Infinity 3.0 is Star Wars canon, and then Lego Star Wars is non-canon. Keep the books, keep the comics alive, keep Mara J alive, you know?
Yeah, it would be cool, but the problem is, you know, none of that is worth anything. They're all like, yeah, it doesn't count. All that's money you've been spending all these years, we don't really care. It's like, that was so terrible. I think that is like, on one hand, though, like, I mean, it's a terrible thing for the fans because it's like a horrible, like, you know, slap in the face to the people who have been keeping your franchise alive for all these years, because that's really the people that kept it alive, right? Are the people that do read all this extra stuff and constantly kind of like keep Star Wars in the minds of the public. But at the same time, I guess maybe they just want to have like a clean slate. You know what I mean? You don't want to deal with all this leverage and luggage and all this kind of, like, you know, all this backgrounds that you can build onto. So I kind of get it, but I would feel really bad if I was a fan and I was invested in that.
So cool. Well, we'll wrap up this video. If you guys are watching this video, let us know in the comments below maybe what you'd like to see for the upcoming Lego games, and maybe some of your thoughts on
Ninja Turtles, guys. Ninja Turtles or Ghostbusters. We have to make it happen. That'd be awesome.
That would be nice. I don't think we've seen either of those, and there's definitely toys. They've been pushing the Ghostbusters toys, and, you know, Ninja Turtles celebrating 30 years. Ninja Turtles, let's not wait to 40 years. Let's get that out as a Lego game. So again, I'll put Blitzwinger's YouTube channel in the description below. It's youtube.com/Blitzwinger. Thanks a bunch for jumping on. I'm gonna call you one of the Lego master builders out there. So.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome.
So that's cool. You know, so there you are. And thanks a bunch for watching this video. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank you, guys. Peace out.